Right. So I figured out the problem with this. It was that I was trying to create two characters in one line, but I completely forgot that I didn't set up the function to do that. I set up the function to set up one character per line. We can change it, of course. It's you know, it shouldn't be too difficult to do. But if you'd rather just create one character per line and keep things neater that way, then that's entirely fair as well. But that was essentially meaning that it was just creating Zachary rather than Isaac, and yeah, because of that, the movement was being called, but rather than actually return the movement function for him, it was having to instantiate him, which meant that he did spawn in, but then the move hadn't worked. But that's absolutely fine. So if we just remember to keep one character per line on the script in terms of creation, then that should be just fine. So now if we hit play here, I go up to here, this test file, you can see that they move absolutely fine. And that's because we've created them both on separate lines. And we've got all of that still working. Absolutely fine. Okay, so where we're currently at today, I've gone through this emote controller class. I've cleaned it up a bit. I've done a little bit of optimizing. I've documented it, and I'm now working on debugging some of the functionality. In particular, I'm working on debugging the change emote at the moment, because it's behaving very, very strangely. So if let's see if I go into my things there. Oh, I also added the emote functions to the characters database class. Right, now if I press play on here, okay, continue there. Right, so you'll see here, if we go into this text file, so that hit of that function there was this, which was supposed to change Isaac to the emote surprised there. Now the next call of it, oh no, the previous, sorry, that would have been the emote questioning. So this call that's about to happen should change it to the emote surprised, but for some reason it doesn't. But what does happen, if we exit out of here and we go back on, hit continue, he's now spawned with the emote surprised, despite it saying to change to the emote questioning, which it was before. Now if we just exit out of this again, because it's not hit that second call to the emote surprised, and then we go back in, it'll come up as the emote questioning again. So it seems kind of like what's happening here is somehow the data is being altered during runtime, but it's only being read outside of runtime, if that makes sense. It's really, really strange. I've never seen anything like this happen before. So I'm having quite a bit of difficulty debugging it. But we have narrowed down the problem quite a bit, and I think that we'll be able to get through this. Hopefully this week. Right, okay, so I've managed to fix the emotes logic, at least in terms of getting the emotes to change. Currently I'm in the middle of setting up a bunch of animations, and the animation graph is, if you look here, automatically transitioning to this fade and sharp, so you're going to see fade and sharp play over and over and over again during this, but rest assured that will be fixed probably today, definitely tomorrow. It's just because I need to set up the animation graph properly. But so if we hit play here, we have you good, got the question mark there, changes to the exclamation mark, confusion, and it's changed back to the question mark. So we can now change emotes, which is very, very good. Now if I exit out of here, and I go back into the animator. Actually, no, if I go back into where is it? That there. Now, if let's see, got this selected. There we go, we can see all of our animations there. So we've got fade in sharp here, which we saw just then. We've got fade in smooth, which is a bit smoother. The reason why we've got these is because, well, obviously fade in sharp is to give it the give the showing up of the emote, the fade of the emote a bit more pop, just for cases where we need a bit more gravity to it. We have a fade out, which will essentially play a couple of seconds after, or I'll usually play a couple of seconds after the fade in. But it'll be entirely controlled by the script, of course. So you'll usually have your fade in, wait, and then fade out. And I'm making animations such as wiggle. Wiggle is probably just going to be used by this, or by a question emote if we have one of those. But it's just to show off the sort of stuff that we can do. So that's right there. That's what the wiggle looks like. Sort of messing with the scale and the rotation a little bit. And I'm thinking of also having a sort of scale pop one, which essentially is just I would use for the exclamation mark when that appears in, just to make it jump out a bit more. But I'll show you that when I've got it done. Okay, so I've gone through the functionality for this. I've done a bit of testing and I've figured out a couple of bugs with the system, but overall it is working. Those bugs will just need to be either figured out or worked around, because there do seem to be a few which would be very difficult to work around with the current system the way it is, and they don't actually cause that much hassle when writing the script. It's just things like for instance, where is it? Here. So we've got animate emote toggle. So if we have any emote animations that need to be toggled, we have to toggle them before we make the emote visible, and then we can disable them whilst they're visible and then fade out. So that's the general order of things there. The rest of them, it's looking fairly good. There's a few things that I need to work out, but we can probably just use wait functions to actually. So essentially, there's some points at which if we place some of these one-shot animations, they'll happen in the wrong place, but we can use waits to space those out, and that should be absolutely fine. Other than that, I think I'll probably just need to implement something to do with this wait function, some change to this to make it actually behave how we would expect. But yeah, or we could just have a wait for inputs that you have to click again to have that, so we'll probably do that. But yeah, so I'll show you what I've got so far. So let's go into, get this visible here. So this is the animation tree here. And each of these transitions has conditions attached to them so that we essentially have everything working the way it's supposed to. Right, now if I go into here to renderers emote layer, then we can see that this is just on the default state at the moment. The emote is just animating on the default state currently, and the default state sets it to be invisible. It sets the alpha to be 0. So if I click here, then you should see, let's see, emote surprised. Oh wait, I'll have to click a few times for this. So they've changed outfits. Didn't see it when I should have, and then we should see the this emote here pop in up here, and then fade out once the pop in animation is done. So we'll see that just now, like so. Then we've changed there to the questioning emote. Now we've not only changed to the questioning emote, but this should also let's see. Yeah, that should then toggle the wiggle animation, and then we'll fade it in. So when it fades in, it'll already be wiggling, like so. And then, yep, got all of that. Probably could have tanked it. But still, and then this animation should fit. Yeah, it should stop there, and then it fades out. And then we've got an animation in smooth there. So that's essentially how we can use emotes in this, which could be a pretty powerful system to actually, you know, convey how the characters are feeling if you would want to do that. But yeah, that's where we're currently at. I think it just needs a bit of fixing up, a little bit of documentation, and then I can move on to implementing audio within the scene so that our play SFX function. So that our play SFX function will actually start being able to work, and we'll have a play music function as well. Yeah, and I'll try and get the volumes and all of that to load from the save files that we currently have set up. Okay, so far the way that I'm implementing the audio is I've taken over all of the data persistence managers over into the visual novel scene, which means that we have the ability to read the save files from within this scene now. I've added an audio manager, which is just it uses this main audio mixer here, which should be absolutely fine. Honestly, I don't think we really need more than the main audio mixer in this project. And yeah, so it'll save and load the data pretty much almost the same as it would in the main menu scene. But currently, the way that it's doing that in the main menu scene is it's using these sliders, so that the main menu scene has all of the audio sliders within the settings menu itself, and those settings sliders, those audio sliders, have a function attached to them wherein if the value is changed at all, be it by like reading from the file or be it by user input, it'll set the master volume, music volume, or SFX volume, whichever one the slider corresponds to. It'll set the volume down here in the audio mixer based on that. But currently we don't have a settings menu within this. I'm not sure if you want me to make one at any point, but if you do, just let me know. But so I've just implemented a temporary function, or a temporary bit of functionality within the load settings data to say if the audio manager is not within game, then do the main menu stuff. If it is within game, then just set the volumes based on the values that it reads from the file. Which it's a fairly simple solution. It means that we can't alter the volume inside the game at the moment, but it does mean that we can read the set volumes from the main menu. So yeah, that's that, and that should allow us for just now to go and create a sounds command database extension so that we can play sounds and things like that. Yeah, that's about the progress for today. Other than obviously doing the documentation down here and implementing these functions here, the fade and sharp, fade and smooth, emote pop in, and emote wiggle. Right, I tried to record this once, but desktop sound wasn't recording, so I'll try it again. Let's restart this. So we've got these commands in. We've got play SFX, we've got play music, we've got stop music. There'll probably be more things like fade music and things like that, or changing the frequency of things, just for bit of finer control. But for now, those are the effects, or those are the commands that we've got for the scripting. Now we have play music here for that 3 AM feeling, which is just it's reading that out of the audio manager music sounds, and then anytime we have an emote, we've got a sound playing for that. And then, you know what, I haven't put in stop music, so I'll probably just put in stop music here, because I haven't tested that yet. Okay, right, so hopefully that'll work. I haven't tested out a function with no parameters yet, so if not, then I'll just need to add a data string to it, and that's absolutely fine. But for now, we'll try this out. So the music has started playing. Oops, hold on. Forgot to save this. There we go, let's try that again. There we go. Okay, music's playing. And then we should have an emote pop up, so we'll get sound for that. Obviously, we don't own that sound, so we can't use it in the final game, but I'm just using it as a placeholder. We should have another sound come up. The question mark. There we go. There we are. Oh, the music stopped. There we go. So that did work. Excellent. Right, well that's good. So we now know that the stopping music works. Ideally we'll want to have a function to fade the music out because it just sounds a bit better, and we can have some fine time control over that. I also kind of want to put in a delay time for this, so that we can fine tune when the sound plays. Because obviously it just plays as soon as it hears the command at the moment. But if we have a delay slightly, but like just before we actually hit this this play SFX, then we'll be able to control exactly when the sound plays and match it up with the emotes, which is fairly simple to do. So that should be absolutely fine. But yeah, that's me done for the week.